welcome to the first episode of Lost. Here I'll talk about crazy and interesting stories of things that were mysteriously lost, whether on land, in the sea, in the air, or somewhere else. Enjoy! It was a normal morning when the huge 542 by 66 foot beast was last seen. The USS Cyclops was on a normal voyage back to Baltimore. The ship was a collier, which means it carried coal. This ship was used to transport bulk goods to Rio de Janeiro, such as coal and ore. On its second last voyage, it began a routine trip on the 22nd of February, 1918. It had no scheduled stops except for the final destination of Baltimore. It carried 10,800 tons of manganese ore from Bahia, a Brazilian state. Though its plans to continue to Baltimore, the Cyclops ended up in Barbados on March 3rd, 9 days after it left Brazil. There, the ship reported engine problems, which would result in a reduced speed for the voyage home. The ship also may have been overloaded before setting sail. On March 4th, the Cyclops set sail once again, but after that, it was never seen again. There was no distress signal sent, as well as none of the incoming calls to the ship were answered by the people aboard. One spotting was reported, but was denied by that ship's master. The ship has yet to be found and was lost in the area of the infamous Bermuda Triangle. A diver had apparently seen the ship years later, but when search crews returned to the site, they found no evidence of a ship in that location. In my opinion, it is quite strange that a vessel so large could just go missing and never be seen again. Some opinions have been stated. None of these are confirmed, they are just theories. As these theories go, some are logical and some are not, starting with the engine failures. One theory as to why the ship disappeared stated that it was due to further engine failures. We know that in the last few days of the ship, the engine was reported to be faulty, and it was sent to the US to be repaired. As the theory suggests, additional fatal engine failures could have occurred, which could have led to the sinking amidst the ocean of possibly bad weather. This theory is another prominent idea that floats around, but has been denied by some sources. The thought is that there were harsh conditions for the ship and it was taken over by large waves or was hit by a natural disaster. No occurrences of such were recorded in that area though. Other reasons consist of sinking due to overloading, improper loading, and possibly a hull fire which led to more problems in the future. Conspiracy theories also surround the ship. Some of these involve extraterrestrial contact, attack, onboard struggles, and paranormal activity. I will not go into much further detail on these subjects though, as they are backed up with little evidence. This is not the end of this tale though. The plot only thickens. The USS Cyclops was not the only ship of its kind. Accompanied by 3 sister ships, it was a part of a fleet of ships which all were used for the same purpose. The first of the 3 was the USS Langley. Originally named the USS Jupiter, it was a collier just like the rest of its fleet, which featured turbo-electric propulsion. It was later repurposed to be the US Navy's first aircraft carrier. Later on, during World War II, the Langley was shot down by Japanese bombers and sunk the ship despite efforts to save it from a wreck. 16 members of the crew were killed from this attack, but this does not end the dark history of the fleet of ships. The third member of the fleet, the name of the class, the USS Proteus, was commissioned at the same time as the other members of the fleet. Just like the other ships in the fleet, the lead ship was a collier. This ship, while traveling a normal voyage, the same voyage traveled by the USS Cyclops 23 years earlier, mysteriously vanished without a trace, presumably in the Bermuda Triangle area. The boat had not been destroyed by the Germans according to German records. This does not end the madness of the fleet though. Only one boat left, and just take a wild guess at what happened to this one. Named the USS Nereus, this vessel originally used as a collier and later sold to transport minerals. This ship saw its last days less than a month after the vanishing of the Proteus. On generally the same route as the Cyclops and Proteus disappeared on, the Nereus also disappeared. Whether this is all just a coincidence or linked, I do not know. The final fact about these incidents is that there is no evidence of a German vessel destroying any of these colliers. These events may have been linked to each other due to the coal that they all once held, and it could have had adverse effects on each vessel alike. But how could you say this when looking at the great distance between the Cyclops disappearance and the others? The other question is how all of these vessels just vanished without any trace, signal, or call. The ships that vanished were all in the Bermuda Triangle area, and all of these events could have been linked to the Bermuda Triangle itself, which could be for a video of its own. But we also cannot disregard the physical features of that area and the anomalies that could have occurred there along with the patterns of weather that take place in that zone. The mystery of these occurrences has been left unanswered for decades and sits in the back of the minds of many. The pattern between each event is chillingly similar and could startle anyone who hears the tale. For all we know, the ships could have been taken over by aliens and taken as evidence for their kind. The truth may never be known, but now you are informed about the events of the Proteus class, a fleet of metal giants, but only a drop in the enormous ocean. Will we ever find these ships? Leave your comments below. If you have any suggestions for the Lost series, please leave them in the comment section, and I will try to make them into future videos. Thank you for your attention, and please subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, here on Sparkpass.